Good afternoon. Click. This is Scix. Welcome to the 2 or 3 of you who are listening. Back in Minecraft, in the last video I said that we would go on a quest, and we will do that. I have been up to a few things in the meantime, so I'm going to show those off on the way out of town. And as I said, I will be taking it off weenie mode, and we will be playing with monsters, thus the sword I have atypically in my hand. This is the tower at the top of the asylum. This is the top floor. It's unfinished, and I've got to do a few things here. I want to make an observation deck. When I started building it, I did not realize I was already at the top of the map. This roof is the highest block possible. I thought I was going to get another couple floors. This object, I got the idea from a video on YouTube of someone who had done a Stargate. Essentially, it's water pouring down in a controlled way through a hole in the wall. Got a couple gaps here and there. I've more or less finished building this asylum. Now it's a matter of furnishing it. Some of these rooms are dim enough to spawn baddies. I'm kind of keeping my eyes open. Unfortunately, almost every time I've gone through here with peaceful mode off, the baddies I discover are creepers. And then I sort of panic, hit escape, and turn peaceful mode on, because creepers will blow my stuff up. And that would make me sad, because I put a... Oh, look at that. Skeleton. I can use bones. I'd rather he... Oh, there's a spider somewhere. Where's the spider? Up in the tree? Look. Bet he's in here. Maybe he's in there. I don't know. If he's out in the sun, he should... Oh, there's a creeper. Ha ha. You're in the office. You can't get me. I think that's the spider sound I'm hearing. So I've been busy. I built a few things. As I think I've mentioned, I'm sharing a computer, so I cannot always record, but I am so addicted to this game, I'll play. And I sort of have a to-do list now for things on video. There he is. Hee hee. I like doors between me and the baddies. Let's see, maybe he's on the roof, the spider. There's the tower from the outside. I sort of had plans for a peaked roof or Crenelations or something. But that's as flat as it goes. There's our cottage, of which I'm still inordinately fond. Oops. Yeah, and you can tell I'm not on peaceful mode, because that small bit of damage stayed. Well, foo. Alright, whoop! Yikes! Alright, you know... Until I get out of the building... get rid of this. He blew up my... Do I have any wood? No. There's some cobble. That's so irritating. There's some wood, but I'm full of gravel. Buzz off. Alright. And... wood. Ladder. Torch. Go away, gravel. I don't want you. Did it knock a torch off? It's probably on that. Okay, so I'll get more wood and ladder. Fix that. Obviously, this floor needs more light. But for now, we're just going to do this. This is the floor I always get beat up on when I, wool. Come out of the ceiling? No? Oh. looking up. I've got too much crap, as always. I think I have bone meal, right? So I'll do this. I definitely want to take a workbench with me. And I'm going to go one floor down and grab a bed. Stupid creepers. Why is it always creepers? I'm fine with spiders and zombies and skeletons roaming around in my asylum, but creepers. May be wimpy, but I think if I could, I would find a way to just turn them off. Better yet, if I could turn them off for a region. So I'd add some wool light blue, so I've got this sort of hospital corridor thing. I still want to do light green, and that's why I'm going to go looking for cactus. I wish there were a way to make green. I've died at least once since the last video, so my inventory is all beat up. Ooh. Right, bed. Not entirely sure what all these rooms are going to be. I've started making rooms and corridors instead of these big wide open spaces. That'll actually help with the monster problem, because most of them will spawn in rooms. It'll be easier to get away from them. I'll take the ladder down. So the downstairs gallery I've sort of casually started making into an operating theater by making essentially a bed and a tool tray. I'm going to do more with that. Put maybe some rows of seats. Maybe even tier them. More like a theater. Dispensary for drugs. There's our buddy Walter Freeman. Alright. Don't have any more. I know I've got more ladders somewhere. One of these storage boxes. It's gonna... Really? It's gonna bug me if I don't fix that, so I'm gonna fix it. Ladders, ladders. Who's got ladders? Gunpowder I'm not gonna need. I'm not gonna be doing any dyeing with a, you know, color-wise. Let's start cooking these chops. Because as I'm going monster style, I will need help. And actually, do I have any materials? Yeah. Make some armor. This may be one of the reasons I do so poorly against the monsters, is I tend to neglect armor. Alright, so we got chest plates. Cap. Pants. Boots. And let us make a sword. Do I have any sticks? I have no sticks. In fact, I have no room whatsoever, so... Oh, goes the gravel. Alright, I'll put these on. So this is all still the Jellycraft. I haven't got into any of that. Looks like a welder. Do I have stuff to make more arrows? Oh, there's some fence. I need some fence up topside. Promise you, we will get underway. I'm delaying a bit, but that's life. Okay, so I'm not gonna need to bring cobble with me. Oh, it's a chest. I'll bring that. I'm not gonna need to bring dye with me. Not gonna need to bring flint with me. I'll bring an axe. I'll bring flint and steel. Not gonna need to bring any wool with me. I generally use dirt as a scaffolding. So I'll bring that, and I'll probably manage to get some more on the way. Cobble. Not nearly as organized as it could be, I know. Wool. Need arrows, need pickaxes. Put the bed up here with stuff. I intend to sleep on the way from time to time, largely because... Make another shovel, I think. Oh, I don't have any sticks. Largely because if I do die, I don't want to have to go hunting for my stuff too much, so at periodical intervals I will take a nap to reset my spawn place. Although as I think about it, that's problematic, because that would mean I would need to build a little house and leave my bed there, because it's not the spawn place, but the placement of the bed. I don't know. I'll ponder the best way to handle that. I still need more wood and ladders for the, oops. Not really happy with the staircase. I'm gonna fiddle with it at some point. Up and up and up. There's just that one gap in the window up there that's gonna bug me. If this is too tedious when I review the video, I may skip some of it. Stupid creeper. Oh, it ticks me off. They're scary as hell though, aren't they? I already went by the window things. I don't know if you noticed, but I have modified the creeper mob. Give him a bigger mouth. The jellycrack creeper is just a little too cute. Have you seen the ones with big goofy eyes? I can see I'm setting myself up really well today. The one with big goofy grinning eyes. Scary. The zombie and skeleton have been slightly modified. The spider, you may have noticed, was kind of reddish. Changed its color, his eyes, but not much else. Okay, so we're just gonna get out of here. Going down the stairs, please. Pretty much got everything we need. Pick up my cooked pork chops down below. Then we will head out. This has become my home base for a while, simply because that's where I'm spending most of my time building. Take a quick jump down to the basement. Slightly different from last time, but I have spent a ridiculous amount of time down here trying to get the redstone to work like I want. So what I want is this switch to open the door and turn on lights inside. Redstone lights. It's all dark in there. My hope is that one day I'll come down and there'll be like a zombie in the cage. That would be awesome. I seem a bit irritable today. It's just a mood thing, like having a cold. I'm irritable. In Catacombs, I snuck these lights in behind. Actually fell into them while trying to figure out the redstone from above. I did that by accident. I originally put red torches in there, but they're so dim. So what modifications are you hoping will be up for 1.6? I know mostly it's going to be maps and bug fixes, is what I've been hearing. One of the few bug fixes Notch has mentioned specifically is something to do with the boat elevators being too fast. Doesn't bother me. What I want is where did I leave the glowstone? I went and got some glowstone last time. My inventories are so scattered. Boats die too easily. And also, most of the things that you can't pick up. That really irks me. So, still really pleased with the bridge. Don't think I did anything down that way. Down below, you see first glimpse of what I did with this little pasture that I walled off. I've been occasionally mentioning, what did I do with that? This is a labyrinth. One of the meanings of the word labyrinth. Not like a maze, not like a tunnely one, although I could raise these, the sandstone into walls. You occasionally see these in cathedrals. Shark Cathedral has a much more complex one. This is an ancient design. I think the specific design is Greek. I don't know. I really should have recorded it, because the way to make this is kind of neat. Essentially, I don't know if I can describe it as well as I could have said it. You start with a cross in the middle. Then you make dots in the spaces, like up from the end and up from that end, like so you make a like an invisible square. And then you connect each end to the next unoccupied dot. So this connects to that dot, and then this dot connects to the next unoccupied end, and you start counterclockwise and connect clockwise, and eventually it makes this little labyrinth. I've already used up a day, though it was, I think, afternoon when I started, so it's not too bad. Still an inveterate sheep bopper. I'm building an asylum after all, and the walls are mostly white. There's the manse, there's the obelisk, there's the observation tower. You may note the temple is now starting to be corrupted. Slowly, these veins of obsidian are starting to appear. I originally set out to make a lot of dark and creepy, and the asylum is getting that way, particularly when there are damn creepers. Ugh. Irritating. I'll get over it. Also, it doesn't help that I kind of suck. Priest hole. I still have what's underneath. I think that will be my treasure storage down there. Sort of imply that the keepers of the church have some wealth to them. There's the Hobbit house. I'm trying to decide, should I take a nap there, or should I show you the other thing? I think I'll show you the other thing in the dark. So you follow this line of torches. I haven't made a path for this one. All I'm gonna make. Beware the swamp of doom. I've got a couple of these places with torches under glass. I've made a swamp, and this again is inspired by a video I saw on YouTube. So I've got these puddles of water and reeds and lots of trees, which used up a lot of bone meal, and slow sand to show kind of mossy, murky ground. Why am I not walking? What am I running into? Is that too high? Is that too low? Huh. There's a sheep in the swamp. And I've got these lights here and there buried. That's to represent the swamp marsh, will-o'-the-wisps. Also known as Fata Morgana, and a few other funky names. That is actually netherrack on fire behind glass. I set the swamp on fire when I installed that. It's kind of disturbing, since it's so tree-heavy, but it's also very wet, and I happen to have buckets with me. So I flooded the place, put out the fires. Most of the trees were stumps. Some were still alive. I'm going to expand it, and as I think of different ways to make it swampier. In addition to the swampy stuff, trees and reeds and moss, I don't know if you noticed there was some mossy cobble back there and some brick, with the idea being that this is perhaps a small settlement or farm that's been overrun, and so there are bits of the foundation left behind. That one's probably not going to grow, but I think... Well, I put away my bone meal. Got this little area up here. Trees. Bit of foundation here. I found this sort of water cave. I use the reeds as a barrier because the lake in there is a level lower. Water will not pass reeds. I've got the fire under glass. Couldn't make this still because water runs against glass. Also, I'm not sure if the reeds are a sufficient barrier. Nonetheless, it's fairly still. It's not overwhelming. It's not going to trap me or anyone else. So that's the new stuff. And this place is darn creepy. The swamp, particularly when you hear spiders up in the trees. Sheep. So the other thing I did, since we were gone, is I traveled the southwest to a place I had seen once before while lost. And I kept a screenshot with the XY coordinates, and I went and found it. There happened to be a cave system there. It was pretty awesome. And I got lost in it. Thoroughly lost. Just amazingly lost. I just sort of pop in and say, oh, see what's here, have a little look around, drop some torches here and there, and I just got so thoroughly lost. My fault entirely. I got distracted. But I called it the Lost Mine, and I built a road back because I wouldn't be able to find it again. So, let's go off peaceful. I think I'll keep the bow and arrow. So I've got this road, and it goes through some lovely scenery. And it's mostly deep enough that I could, as I sort of half-jokingly say, I could walk home drunk. This is a sand quarry where I've been getting the sand for my glass and sandstone. Mostly I don't fall off things quite so much as I used to, so that's why I allow the one block wide walkway. Kind of a boardwalk thing. On this road, I still run into creepers more than anything else, and they will blow up part of my road, and it ticks me off. Fortunately, through most of today's video, I'll be out in the wild, and it won't affect me too much to get stuff blown up. It will still affect me to get me blown up. But as you see, it goes past caves and stuff. These are pass-through caves. They don't actually go anywhere. They just sort of open up into other areas, other openings. This is kind of dark and tree-like. I love the trees. I love that since I've started playing, the trees have been growing. And they're taller and thicker and... Whoa! Well, that's irritating. Assuming we're still recording, we are going to restart the game. Alright, we're going to restart. We have restarted. Oddly enough, I've been recording my voice in Audacity, because last time I don't think my voice was loud enough. And this time, while recording voice in Audacity, I forgot to turn off the gather from the mic option in Fraps, and it seems to be recording just fine, so I may just use that. This valley, I decided to go through the trees. It's lovely. There are some areas on this road I haven't really explored much. See that lone tree there in my reticule? I use big words sometimes. Gamers probably know the word. That's very near our destination. Sheep! Sheep, sheep. Let's see. Don't fall off when I punch you. kind of a word nerd. If I use a word you don't know, and you're curious, you can ask, or look it up. Sometimes it's hard to tell how they're spelled just from hearing it said. And occasionally I may use one wrong. It is a symptom of being a reader that sometimes we know words that we've never actually heard spoken. I try to notice when I've got those and look them up. For example, almost every walkthrough of Minecraft I've seen have trouble with the last name of the stone, lapis. So I looked it up. Lazuli. At least according to Wiktionary. I've always said lapis lazuli. Almost everyone seems to say lapis lazuli. But it's actually somewhere between them. You'll notice I'm passing some doors. The big mine I got lost in is so big, it actually comes to ground here and there. That little single block with a flower on it, I always want to bop it with my head and get the power to shoot fire. Here's the lost mine. No longer lost. The mine itself is here, and I've made a little hut with mostly coal in it, and levers for some reason. And the thing I do here, aside from sleep, is I come out when my inventory is loaded up. And because I got so lost, the last time I was here, I got really, I guess, obsessive about making it navigable. And I've got maybe 10 to 20% of it under control now. Oh, pardon. I've got this here primarily because last time I came in, it kept needing to come out and make doors. So every intersection, I've blocked off into doorways. The doors going... love that sound. The doors going deeper in have the torches on the left. The doors coming out have torches on the right. And now I've added the redstone torch to indicate an exit door, or at least the way toward an exit door. And that one's deeper in. Go up the ladder, or down the stairs. This also helps when I'm all scared of running into beasties, because all I have to do is get past the door. So I'm gonna not get lost. I'm not gonna leave the area that's controlled. There's redstone. Here we are back outside. There's the river. There's the top of the arch we came through. So I think from here we're going to start our quest. If you'll recall, for near dusk I would stop and sleep in the bed down by the cavern. If you'll recall, the quest is primarily for Cactus, which means this is the wrong biome, but we're going to look around a bit, because this is just a pretty place. Last time I was up here, you see that sort of cross-shaped hole? It was full of gravel, so it was a black cross. And I climbed up there, fairly precarious up there. That's one block thick, that entire sheet. Put some torches up there, so it looks neat at night. Now we're getting onto sunset. I might take a nap here after all. That way if I die, I don't have to come all the way from home base. And I have a better chance of reaching my stuff before it despawns, because apparently it will eventually. I think 5 minutes? I don't know. Should be plenty of time. Oop, I hear someone growling. The same creeper I saw before, is it underwater or something? I think that's the sound of a zombie, but I shouldn't be hearing a zombie here. Often when I think I know what's going on, it turns out I don't. Also in this water is the very first time I saw a squid. There are some down here. I don't see any. Maybe I killed them all. There are a lot of things that I was just convinced I was never going to see. clay, but when I changed the texture enough so that they were very different, clay was very different from the sand, I started noticing there was clay all over the place. Now that was definitely the sound of a skeleton. There must be a cave somewhere nearby. The big black blobby things are coal. I'm not happy with that. That was my doing. Most of the other ore textures I like. I'm just essentially tinkering with the texture pack. I'll try it, see what I like. Alright. I think we're close enough to dusk. We'll take a nap before we head out into new territory. Dun dun dun! I would love it, love it, love it if I could start getting some feedback on whether you like what I'm doing, whether you'd like me to be doing something different, whether you think I'm being an idiot, whether you want to mock me for being a coward. Because I freely admit it. In this game, my chief joys are exploration and building. Getting killed by stuff sort of interferes with that. There's the music. There we go. The sunset behind that thing is kind of cool. Last night, this place was overrun with wolves, and they were just decimating the sheep, so I got a lot of free wool out of that. I had a pet wolf for a while. I don't have good luck with them, because they're not smart around fire. I lost one to falling down mines, because it kept just jumping. Yes, I see the creeper in the corner. And I've lost two now to being stupid about fire. See, I stop them outside the mine. I don't take them down anymore. And the last one disappeared, but the only way I can figure out he disappeared, or where he might have went, was because there was a lava flow. It was near the lava flow at the front of the church. He must have burned himself up. He wasn't in great health. He had hurt himself by falling. And I hadn't had a chance to feed him yet. It was too bad. I'd kept him longer than the other two. The first one was so sad. I hadn't yet covered the open flames inside the church. And I entered through the back door, through the gate, another gate. There, see, isn't that pretty? I love sunsets in this game. And so he followed me in and leapt right into the fire, and I had to watch him burn. And also hope he didn't set anything else on fire, because there's a lot of wood in there. Alright. We don't need to carry this wool. We'll be gathering more. But we are far more likely to run out of room that we don't need the red torches. Whoops. Either. I mostly just have those to mark the exits. Equip our sword. And now off to parts unknown. Which direction? Let's see, home is that way. Right? According to the compass. So we will go this way. Keeping our eye out in particular for sandy areas where we may encounter cactus. So also just discovering new stuff. That's neat. Marking stuff for future exploration. Which is a bit of a challenge. When we get the map, that'll be easier. But I suppose I can do the screenshot with F3 on to get coordinates. You watch, I'm going to find cactus like in the first minute. So as I was saying, I found my first squid, and I had to use F3 to see that because it was very dark and murky down there. And I'd only recently learned how to use it. I knew it was there, but I didn't actually understand what I was doing. So that's good. I've got now ink in the library. Ink and feathers, so like quills, and books, and paper. Alright, let's get out of the snowy area. What else? Seems like something else new happened. Oh, I found there was a dungeon in my basement, in the basement of my main manse. And I found it, again with the help of F3. There's a certain area of the mine underneath that always made the spider sounds. Which, actually, I still don't know where the spider sounds came from, because the one I found had a skeleton spawner. But now, I have a nice cheap source of... Is that a wolf? That's a wolf. That's what... Get out of the gravel, you. That's what the wolf looks like. That's the color of the wolf. You can't really see his face. Again, started with the jelly craft. I took away his fangs, because they were kind of a nice idea, but a bit silly. I have nothing against silly. I'm clearly a very silly person. It's a sheep. So I took the fangs out, altered the eyes a bit, made the color a bit more wolf-like, in my opinion. Of course, that's probably regional. Should have brought a boat. Boats irritate the heck out of me because I can't pick them up. And bookshelves. I realized a while back I wanted to move a bookshelf. It doesn't, I guess essentially it doesn't drop itself. Bookshelves are expensive to make. Boats aren't too bad. And they do drop sticks, I think. I should probably equip the compass. Oops, sinking. So I can get some idea of the direction I'm going without having to look into my inventory. Not sure how long this is going. If it goes really long, I'll split it up. Possibly at where the game crashed. I hope it doesn't do that while I'm in the water, because I might start the game glub glub glub. Get the sword ready. It's kind of a odd, very square looking patch of grass. Let me just make sure that I'm not unpeaceful. I haven't seen... I guess I've heard stuff, but I haven't seen anything. Not that I need to. As some playthrough folks have noted, this game is downright scary. It doesn't seem like it would be. I mean, everything's kind of cute in the big, blocky 16-bit style. Whoa! Crap on a crutch. And somebody's down here. Lovely. Looks like a way out. Off we go. Yikes! Zombies! Zombies in this probably. No look? What do you think? Hi. Zombies are kind of easy. As you see, I modified the zombie as well. Slept some torches down there. See if I have found a dungeon. That just seemed like a lot of zombies all in one place, doesn't it? The skeleton dungeon, I'd actually encountered skeletons in that... This is lit, though. In that area of my underground. I think maybe that was a coincidence, because if there were a spawner, there'd be sort of like a path of zombies to there. Let's see. Anything? Anything? And I had no idea how the skeletons were getting in, and I thought I had lit and blocked off everywhere, but there was a little 1-by-1 block in the ceiling, in the floor of the spawner room. That's where they had been coming in. Let's see, did I bring a shovel? I did. Trying to make my tools last as long as possible. Whoopsie! Well, that wasn't what I was trying for. Maybe I won't go out that way. If I do this, go out this way. I don't remember that body of water, so I don't know how extensive it is. Let's see, can this flood me? Nope. Get out this way. Whoop. I don't have to make it too terribly neat, because I'm probably not coming back. It's kind of satisfying to kill things, isn't it? It It adds an element to the game. Gather some leather. I've got iron armor on. I've actually got a lot of iron. I think I may actually have enough that I would feel comfortable making tracks. I've wanted to for a while, but it just seems a bit expensive. You know? Material's expensive. But I've got 5 or 6 stacks of now. Woo! Of course, now that I'm not on peaceful, I have to be way more careful about how I go down. My statistics show a lot of flight, which I believe is being more than a block above the ground and airborne moving forward. I think it's what I learned on the wiki. Doo-doo-doo. Another cave. That's iron ore. Please don't bump me down into the cave, you numbnuts. Can I make another sword? Just got the one sword. Alright, well I may have to make another sword. This one's actually getting use. I have no sense of how long they last because, well, I've been playing on peaceful for so long. Actually, I have some diamonds, but I'm being very stingy about using diamonds to make things. I've got a diamond pick. Is that just haze in the distance, or that looks like really deep water? Alright. Let's see, there's another snow biome, which I know is oversimplification. There are 2, tundra and some word I had never heard of. And I'm not remembering it right now. I like the little flat islands. I'm a huge fan of the gigantic, weird-looking cliffs. They remind me of Thailand. I don't know if you've ever been to Thailand or seen pictures. Those same cliffs in the desert would be kind of like Utah. But I was in the Navy a while ago, which those who know me now are always surprised. I don't have much of the way. Gosh, dog it. Alright. Yes, close the program. Don't know why it keeps crashing. I'm going to change to fast graphics, which I'm given to understand occasionally makes a difference. I switch back and forth largely depending on whether I'm working on the tower, because when clouds pass through the room, sometimes they're very hard to see. Right, and almost as always, it turned me around when it restarted. Alright, sorry for the interruptions. I don't normally have this much trouble. It may also because I've got a bazillion other programs running. In fact, while I think of it, I'm going to close Audacity, which has almost an hour-long... Audacity has almost an hour-long audio file, which I closed out. It probably uses a lot of memory. And now it's getting dark. First couple times I played through, I didn't realize that the video settings on this particular computer were really, really dim. Nice bit of sand. Maybe there's cactus here. Alright, here's a trick I do when I'm out and scared. I hope my shovel's already dead. Let's see if I can survive long enough to do this. 12. Let's go for 20. 20 blocks. Bit of floating green off in the distance. Or possibly it just hasn't been rendered around. There's torch on it and wait it out. Although, it would probably be more productive to enter a mine or something. I guess, arguably, this is another cowardy thing. Right, because I'm going to wait it out, I'm going to pause the video, and I'll be back around dawn.